Hey, this is the Caribbean Beach Exec, Jeff Vilwalk. We're here talking about Expat Havens. Where are people from the United States retiring to outside the United States? And where are people who are just sick of it? And you know what I mean, just sick of it. Where are they moving outside the United States? So we're in a video series to highlight 5 areas that where we visited, and yeah, we got a lot more to learn, but we're going to target 5 areas. The first is Belize, and we did that in the first video. If you haven't seen that, please go back to YouTube or the blog. It's just video number 1 of this series. Today we're going to be talking about Panama. Panama is a great opportunity for not only to live, but also potentially to work and build businesses. It is the place in Central America, where business is happening. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to come back in subsequent videos, and we're going to talk about Costa Rica. Now I'm going to be spending 3 months in Costa Rica, this coming September of 14 through December. I'm going to take those 3 months. You can get 90-day visas, and we'll talk about that in a different video. But we're going to be spending 3 months there, and then we're going to take 2 videos to talk about the Caribbean. We'll talk about the Eastern Caribbean, which really starts in the British Virgin Islands and goes all the way down to Aruba. And secondly, we're going to talk about the Western Caribbean, which really is just Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, and we're going to focus in on Grand Cayman and the Cayman Islands. So that's what we're doing. This is number 2, and I really appreciate you being here. So let's talk a little bit about Panama. Panama really is the whole gateway to not only Latin America or Central America, but also to South America. Now, everybody knows the Panama Canal, and Jimmy Carter kind of gave that back to the country, I believe in 2000. So, and that country has had kind of ups and downs when it comes to some of its political leaders, over the years. You may remember a guy by the name of Noriega. That was Panama. Now, all that's been cleaned up. The current administration in Panama, from everybody that we talk to, is really on the up and up. It's one of the fastest growing economies in the world. I'm recording this in the fall of 2013. It is growing faster than China. It's growing faster than Brazil. It's growing faster than almost any other country in the world. Now, part of that growth over the last 3 years and for the next year or year and a half is being generated because the canal is being significantly widened. All right, so the canal was built eons and decades and decades and decades ago, and really needed to be updated. And in fact, it can't even be updated to the biggest ships that exist today to carry cargo, and that's another opportunity in another place in Latin America. But it's one of the fastest growing economies. Its healthcare delivery system is superb. Absolutely superb. There are a number of JCAHO accredited hospitals, and if you don't know what that is, basically that's the accreditation board that accredits hospitals in the United States, without which you can't take Medicare patients. So every hospital you've ever been in is a JCAHO accredited hospital. If it's not, it's been closed down. All right. So in foreign countries, JCAHO created an international division several years ago, and so they will go in and do inspections of hospitals. And it is a very arduous task, both here in the States and overseas, to get JCAHO accreditation. And there are more and more hospitals, literally all over the world, becoming JCAHO accredited. And it's very important if if you're looking for a really significant surgery, like open heart surgery, you need to be in a JCAHO accredited hospital. There are a number of them in Panama City, including one that's affiliated with Johns Hopkins out of Baltimore. One of the premier research centers and educational centers in the country. So healthcare in Panama in general is very, very good. There are healthcare insurance policies for expats that can be had at a very reasonable cost. And the beauty is it's probably 40% of what we pay in the United States, so it's very inexpensive as well. Panama City is a very hot and humid place. I mean, this is basically on the equator. It's going to be in the mid to upper 80s every single day. It rains a fair amount, and that's true for most of Central America. There's a dry season and a wet season, and in the wet season, basically, it's a daily thing. And so, a little hot and humid. Okay, if you go up to a place called El Valle, El Valle is about an hour away into the mountains from Panama City, about 2,000 foot elevation, and I've not been there yet. I need to go, but I've been told that is just a perfect climate, and and it's just a gorgeous place. So, that's one possibility. The other possibility outside of Panama City is, and there are major highways coming out, along the western shore. You're on the Pacific coast of Panama, all right? And so along that Pacific coast, there are a number of beach towns, some remote, some with a good expat community, and so depending on what you're looking for, you've got it there. Now, let's say you don't like the beach or it's too hot for you, which is in part, something that I've dealt with over the last couple of years, and so you want to get inland. Well, the beauty of not only Panama but also Costa Rica is that mountain ranges and the beaches are within 30 minutes or an hour of each other. So you can get up in elevation. And there's one place, and I'm going to have to look at a map to make sure I get the name right. It's Boquete. In Boquete, which is a good, probably at least 4, maybe more like 5+ hour drive from from Panama City, Panama. That's up at 8,000 foot elevation, and frankly, it gets a little chillier up there. Now you're in the 50s in the evening, but again, there's a huge expat community there because people love it. So Panama, a real option. If it's one of the leading money centers of the world, huge business opportunities, in the country, as that country and the entire Latin American peninsula really create a middle class for the first time in world history. There's going to be a huge amount of growth. So if you want to go down there as a businessman or a woman and you're representing companies in the United States, I think there's a gold mine opportunity. If you just want to find a great place to retire at 3,000 feet and it's 75 every day, there are places like that. And if you want to have the beach, it's right there. So that's Panama. Come back for more. Number 3, we're going to be talking about Costa Rica. This is a Caribbean Beach Exec signing off.